NatWest. As a matter of fact, I've borrowed quite a lot of money from them. So if at any stage during this presentation I seem a little awkward, it's because they've got a tight grip on my balls. To give you a bit of background, I'm a local hotelier. I've got 3 hotels in the South Lakes, all of them 3-star, between 40 and 50 bedrooms, and I'm also the chairman of the Lakes Hospitality Association, which is a trade association of about 500 members, mostly hoteliers and guest house owners. We're a little different from Cumbria Tourism, who also have a representative here, apart from the fact that we're quite a lot smaller. We are independent, we don't take any government funding, and that gives us the ability to speak out frankly on any issue. And we also represent only the Lake District, so we're not lumbered with trying to attract tourists to places like Barrow in Furness. We are also affiliated to the British Hospitality Association. Now, what of the future? Well, if we look back to 2007, and if anyone in 2007 had said to us, 2 years' time, in 2009, you're going to have a base rate of 0.5%, that the Labour government would reduce the rate of VAT to 15%, that the price of oil would fall to less than half of its maximum level, and that the pound would fall to its lowest ever level against the euro, the dollar and the yen. I think if someone had said that then we would have thought they were frankly mad. But that's what's happened. And that combination of events has enabled the Lake District essentially to escape the recession for the time being. The result has been, well, as far as VAT is concerned, I don't think anyone reduced their prices. I think we just pocketed that extra cash. The result of the fall in the price of oil has meant that petrol actually fell in price, and it's meant that people who want to make the journey up the M6 from Birmingham or London have been able to do so without worrying too much. The fall in interest rates, well, we've all, not all of us, but I think most hoteliers have mortgages, some of them quite large, which is why NatWest takes such an interest in us. We've benefited enormously from that, because those of us who are on a floating rate, most of us are, will have found that our cash flow has improved enormously. And then the result of the fall in the value of the pound has been that it's actually been too expensive for people to travel to their normal destinations, and quite a few of those have decided to come to the Lake District instead. So the result in this recession year has been, although we were really frightened at the start of the year, there was a big fall off in trade then, has been that actually trade has been on the whole better than before. One of our members wrote to us the other day to say that following a big refurbishment, his turnover had increased by 52% on the previous year. And then another member, when we told them that, said, actually it's the same with me. I had a big refurbishment and my turnover was increased by more than 50% as well. They're very exceptional cases, but I think on the whole we have managed to escape the recession so far in the Lake District. I've been asked to give my prediction of what will happen in the future. We're looking at the future. Well, as I say, I'm not willing to predict it, but we can make every businessman has to make a few prudent assumptions. And one thing we're certain about, that we're certain that's going to happen next year, is that there's going to be a general election. And if the Tories win, they have promised us a rather austere economic future, and it's been widely mooted that the rate of VAT will go up to 20%. Now we know that at 6 a.m. on January 1st the rate of VAT is already going to go up to 17.5%, and by the way, that precise figure of 6 a.m. is a result of representations made by the British Hospitality Association, because we said that we didn't want to have to change our tills at midnight on New Year's Eve, and that was announced yesterday. So we know that there's definitely going to be a rise in VAT to 17.5%, and I think a prudent businessman will assume that it may well rise when the Tories get into 20%. As far as interest rates are concerned, the median rate of interest, base rate, over the last 30 years has been about 5%. The guy from the Bank of England will know the precise figures. But at the moment, we are living in very exceptional times. 0.5% has never been seen before, and it will probably never be seen again. Now, the Bank of England has been engaged in a process which they call, it's a new term, quantitative easing. It used to be called printing money. And when Tony Barber did the same thing in 1974, within 12 months, the rate of inflation was 15%. And the Bank of England is mandated to adjust the base rate to take account of the rate of inflation. So if it seems likely the rate of inflation is going to go up, then it's certain that the base rate will go up as well. And the banks have been doing something a little bit tricky in the last few months, in the last year. Instead of us getting just a margin, maybe 1%, maybe 2% above base, all their new loans have been at least 2.25% above base, and in many cases much above that. So if the base rate goes up to 5%, we're paying 7.5%. And there is a possibility that rates will go up higher than that in the end. It may not happen to the middle of next year, it may not happen to the end of next year, but in the end, rates will be at 5% or more. We can be certain of that. Now, the price of oil. If the world economy starts to expand, then we can expect the demand for energy to increase, which means the price of oil will increase. The government have very subtly over the last few months increased the tariff, increased the duty rather, on petrol, so that it's already 107, 109 at the pumps. As soon as the price of oil starts to rise, and remember it's half of its previous level at the moment, then that will be reflected in the price of petrol, and then it will be punitive to travel from London or Birmingham to the Lake District, and that will certainly have an effect on our trade. And it will also mean we've had the benefit from reduced energy costs in the last year. Our energy costs are going to rise again, so that will hit us on the bottom line. And then finally we've got the pound. Well, you know, I was in Italy last week and I got 1.02 to the euro. 5 years ago I was disappointed that I didn't get 165, but 2 years ago the rate was 147, which people think is the correct rate. If the Tory government makes a decent fist of the economy, people may think that it's worthwhile investing in sterling, and everyone's expecting the dollar to collapse, and we know that the European economy is in a mess, so the euro may collapse. So for whatever reason, whether people want the pound or whether people don't want the euro or the dollar, then the pound may go back to its old level. And as soon as the pound goes back to its old level, then people are going to be taking the easy jets back to France and Spain again, and they won't be coming to the Lake District. So I think as prudent businessmen we should take these possibilities into account. We don't know what's going to happen, but it seems likely, it seems possible rather, that the recession that has missed us in this last year will hit us as hoteliers. And remember, we've been very lucky. Most other sectors have been hit badly, but hit us as hoteliers in 2010, and I would expect to see quite a big shake-up in the hotel market in 2010, some bankruptcies, and that would be quite welcome because we need to shake out the people at the bottom. I only hope they don't include me. I will make one certain prediction for 2010, which is that the tight grip which the exercise by NatWest will not be relaxed. Thank you very much.